Next speaker will not be disappointing either. I'm glad to introduce Gaudence Mutabazi Uwizeye. Gaudence is a founder of the Grassroots Healing Initiative, who works in collaboration with the Whole World Women Association in South Africa. And the Whole World Women Association is a non-profit led by African refugee women. And her work, Gaudence's work, focuses on empowering refugee and migrant women, addressing gender-based violence, and ensuring marginalized voices, especially adolescent girls, are heard. Gaudence, please join us. And welcome, yes.
Thank you very much, and greetings to everyone. It has been a great week to sit around different tables and sharing the experiences. And today we are gathered here to reflect on the lived experiences of refugees. I will be sharing with you the work with refugee women in healing, promoting gender equality, and protecting gender-based violence. And we will be talking about the experience of refugee women in South Africa. As it was said, my name is Gaudence Uwizeye. I live in South Africa as a refugee for more than 20 years. And I have been working in the sector of mental health, helping refugees in the communities. One of the issues that we face when we are doing our work is to understand the gender equality, is to promote that equal rights, equal responsibility, equal access to services, is to try and address the power imbalance in the communities, especially the refugee communities, is to advocate for equal education, equal role and leadership, and equal protection. In the South African system, gender-based violence has been declared as an emergency. It's no longer a pandemic. It was a day before the starting of G20 when the president said openly, this is an emergency and it needed to be addressed. And for marginalized community who are refugees, when it comes to gender-based violence, the support, the protection is not available, is not accessing them. So we know that Africa as a country has been experiencing shocking and senseless violence. And in some countries, rape has been used as a weapon of war. And those are the issues that affect the refugees. And the refugees carry those experiences in their exile. We also acknowledge the rigid, stubborn patriarchy, the cultural norms that lives in our society, those influence and nurture gender-based violence and silence communities. The impact of this is the loss of life, is the physical and the psychological injuries, it's the fragmentation of communities. So the intensification of these challenges most of the time lead to poverty, unemployment, the migration, the poor education, the inadequate housing, the lack of personal and human security. When refugee women are faced with these circumstances, they are vulnerable, they become victims of gender-based violence in silence. And who are those women that we are talking about? Those are women who, before this conflict that we are talking about, were self-sufficient. They were working, they were professionals. So when they leave their countries, they never get access to apply all those skills. So the violence that they went through, which the rape, the violence on the way, on the exile, make them helpless. So they live helpless, full of fear. In the exile, the women lives with communities that are fragmented, disempowered. They can't get together because of all those psychological impact being in the country during the conflict we spoke about, on the way to exile, even in the host country, because integrating in the countries that are unequal, that has violence at a high level, is very, very challenging. So the cost of gender-based violence is very high. That's why we see societies that are polarized, the spread fear that we see, the suspicion and the anger within families and the societies, the less of cohesion in families, even the social capital is not achieved because of that lack of trust that we see. The family members become also perpetrators because they live in that system that is not caring. So the women that we work with really present wounds that are physical, that are mental, that are psychological. It becomes really difficult for them to trust, to build a relationship. They are disempowered, and families are broken. Our role as organization is to create safe space for those women. So we create safe space where women will come and share their experiences, where they will come and get information, where they will come and be contained. And when we are supporting them, in those support groups, that is when they will open up and start talking about what is happening in their families. The brokenness is not only on the women who face gender-based violence, not only on the young girls who face gender-based violence, it's for the whole family, the father, the relatives, and the people living in that community. So for us to address that, we work with the mothers and we work with the children. And some of the themes that comes that presenting when we engage with young people is to hear that they are also broken in the way of understanding. The role of parenting is no longer there. Children have to take role and responsibilities because families are broken. But there is a hope when our women, victims, survivors got together and share their experiences. They hold hands and they support each other. They fight all those forms of abuse and they unite despite the differences that they face. So the sample of those groups started as for refugees and migrants, but now it became a safe space for not only the refugees, but also the local women who are living in those communities. Our organization became a container that holds and takes care of all those stories. For us to achieve those, we have to work with other stakeholders, other networks. Government department need to come on board. And that collaboration gave us strength to continue, gave us a referral pathway on some of the services that we are not able to provide to our clients. Organization with experience of advocacy, influencing policies, they play their role. Those who are providing medical assistance, they come in hand. And ours is to connect and make sure that our clients are assisted and are taken care. These are the clients that goes back and create the same group supporting the community. So they become the channel of healing for the whole community. When we were doing this work, we captured some of the lessons that gender-based violence, even though it disempower women, healing is an opportunity that can transform and bring back the hope, not only the hope to the survivor, but the hope to the community. It can rebuild life and install respect for women, and it can reduce the level of patriarchy, the level of cultural norm, because the more you engage, the more you transform. So, in conclusion, our work shown us that by empowering women, we build resilient, not only resilient of victims, but resilient of the whole community. Thank you very much.